setups, and we were talking about earlier in the year how much we've improved. So I think we're really improving. Obviously, challenges ahead are big time, so we got to really improve.
Where have you seen some of that
technique, mentality, being able to handle the grind, the effort, all the things that we preach, that is showing up. I think our effort's better, our techniques are obviously better, the mentality, the outward focus, all those type of things.
Does it surprise you? I know you had a veteran group, but some of these guys maybe haven't been as productive, and now they're having more production. I mean, Marlon's only had one sack this year. Now he's got
No, I mean, it's not surprising because they are a veteran group. I think it's just considering what they've been through. We talk in the military talks in terms of you're like 10,000 reps to perfect a movement. Well, we're not even close to that in our teaching. So I think we're just farther down that path. I think the older guys have done a great job of handling it, providing leadership. So hopefully they are going to reap some of the rewards.
Has there been I don't want to say a spike in improvement, but has it been more noticeable recently than maybe it was?
I think it's just been a gradual improvement. That's really what we talk about as a football team is, the grind of the season, that each week you're preparing to win, and what we try to do each week as a D-line, we have a little sheet we fill out individual weakness that we want to focus on that week, and so each day we'll come in and just write a note down. Did I get better at it? Did I focus at it? So, it's all encompassing.
How about Marlon specifically? Anything physically that he's done? I know he looks about 15 pounds or so lighter than he was last season. He looks to be moving a lot better.
Well, he's definitely lighter than even he was last spring, and I think that goes with our style of play. It's aggressive style of play, and we demand that everyone runs to the ball. We call it the orange swarm, obviously. So, I just think again that they're learning that it's a mentality to play hard, to strain, to get off blocks and run the football. So I think it's showing up.
Has Marlon been a bit of a surprise on an individual level? I know that. I guess like I mentioned earlier, he had one career sack going into the season. He's got 4.5 now. That's a really big spike for a guy late in his career.
Well, yeah, it is. And again, I'll go back to the first thing I ever said about these seniors is, man, they're a great group of kids. They have great attitude. You take Marlon and Corey Miller and Dan Hood, those guys, they come to practice every day with a smile on their face, And when you can do that, you have the opportunity to get really better. So I'm just proud of them, and it's great to see them having some success. The only thing I'd throw out, a lot of the success last week was we were covering some people too. So that really helps. Our back end did an outstanding job last week, and so obviously that helps us up front.
How different is it to face a quarterback that doesn't run the football much this week? It's kind of been the MO every game this season.
Well, the thing is, I want to be able to say that next week that he didn't run the football. So while it's a relief that you're not facing the type of quarterbacks we've seen in the last few weeks, you're still focusing on quarterback points, keeping him in the pocket, all those type things.
Coach, one thing Coach Majekian has referenced in the past couple weeks is really the offseason conditioning payoff from the offensive line. Are you seeing the same kind of payoff with your guys up front?
Definitely. I think Coach Lawson, those guys, Coach Sershin do a great job. And, it's a mentality, I think, especially when you play defense. And it starts in the weight room. It started December 7th whenever Coach Lawson walked on the campus, because it's a grind, and there's got to be a mentality of attacking the rep, whether it's a bench rep or it's a rep on the field. And so that mentality is born in the weight room.
And haven't seen, I thought the Jacquez yesterday is I've never felt this good in the fourth quarter. Going through that, is that just one more reinforcement for buying into the program?
No question. Talking about the program will prepare you. You just have to buy in, and these kids have. And, the overall conditioning, Coach Jones does an excellent job of, managing the team as far as their energy and as far as the practice reps and all those things. So I think it's showing that you're getting here in the latter part of the season, and we're, everybody else talking about being banged up, and we're actually fairly healthy, and going strong.
Coach,
yes.
Coach Jones said earlier in the week that Dan McCullers had his best game versus South Carolina.
Right.
What did he do so well in that game, and how has he developed to this point?
Well, he's in the same boat as all those seniors. They've developed each week, and what you were just saying, cases like Big Dan and Marlon, it's good to see him have some success. But Big Dan specifically was able to, I think he's coming off the ball better. think he's using his hands better. He was able to push the pocket. If you noticed, last week there were several cases. One when he was pushing the pocket and the quarterback threw the ball out of bounds by several yards. That's all, attributed to him. Nobody really knows that, but we all know it, that he's having a little more success than maybe people think. But he's coming off the ball, he's pushing the pocket, those type things starting to show up.
Is he one of those players that really had to learn that you still have gas in the tank? You might feel tired, but you can still go. Like really learning how to push his limits.
He's in that boat with everybody. Everybody learns that, and I think it's one of the lessons our teams learn is that just leave it all out there. And I think as a D-line, we talk about cross-training, we talk about substituting. I tell them, go play as hard as you can. There's a guy coming in soon. So we're rolling guys. We're playing, I don't know, at least 10 guys a game, I would think, at least 9 or 10. And so they know that, I think they now understand, I can go out there and play as hard as I can, right? And then if I need to come off the field, I'll come off. But we're teaching them mentality that no matter what it takes, I'm going to get it done.
Are you surprised with how many guys you're actually rotating? Because I remember at the beginning of fall camp, y'all were worried that you were only going to be rotating 5 or 6. And you said now you have 9. Is that because you guys have been able to develop people that maybe you didn't think would contribute?
It has. Yeah, when you look at the development, people talk about the O'Briens and the Greg Clarks and those guys that I wasn't sure could, provide, rotation work. They do. They're able to play in games. And so, yeah, that's what you hope for. You're always hoping to get 8 to 12 guys that can play in games.
You can see the secondary linebackers, they're not rotating much. I mean,
No, they're not.
just by the nature of your position,
Yes.
you have to do that. Are you forced into doing that?
I think by the nature of the position, I have great respect for our linebackers and secondary because they're taking lots of reps. But as a D lineman, you're leaning on 200-300 pound guys and then turning around the ball. I think a rotation is very healthy for them.
So do you